Hi lovelies, I hope you're well. Today I want to show you how you can embellish maybe an item that you've had for a while but that is maybe a bit more plain and you want to pep it up a little bit. I was recently navigating, browsing around on the internet, kind of looking for new clothes, and I sort of had my eyes always navigating towards the designer items, the more like luxury items and the more expensive items. And it's definitely not because I like to spend that much money, but I kind of noticed that luxury and designer items, they do have something that stands out. Typically it's that there's some sewing details. The thread that has been used is a lot more unique. Maybe it's using accent colors. There's maybe materials that are a lot more sophisticated or a bit better. The cuts are unique, different. It's not your one in a mill, and embellishments and little accents, little details. So I think that's really what makes those kind of clothes stand out. So today I was fixing one of my jumpers, and I also discovered that I have my box of buttons. I have this box. I have been accumulating these for years now. This is essentially buttons that come with clothes that you buy. So if you buy jackets or blouses, typically you will get like a little plastic bag with a bunch of replacement buttons. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be cute to add a few buttons as a detail along the shoulder line? And so you can see me here. I have a couple of that I was laying out just to see which colors go best. I originally thought maybe a white would go nice, but then I discovered I had a bunch of beautiful blue ones. And so let me show you the jumper now, or the sweater. It's this cashmere sweater, so it's really soft and beautiful, but it is very plain. So if you were to see it completely, it's just this one color, and there's nothing fancy about it. It's just that the fabric is really lovely, feels very soft, and it's extremely warm. So I started to put out a bunch of buttons in the shape that I kind of liked. As you can see, I already started, and yeah, it's just a matter of putting here the last one in, and that's what I was going to show you in this video. So let's get started. So what you will need is just a standard hand needle. By the way, this is also something that is non-destructive because this is like a knit fabric. As you see, I can go through it and it doesn't really damage the fabric. So if I put this on and I don't like it, I can always take it back down, or I can change the colors. Yeah, you could have gone with accents like pink. I think it would have looked nice, but I wanted to go with sort of like blue tones so that I can still combine this with as many clothing as possible without sort of making it hard to combine. Alright, so we take a thread that's ideally the same color, or if you wanted to add an accent, you could have gone maybe for this one with like with a white, or maybe yellows might be nice too, depending on your fabric. You can see what thread goes nicely. Because the buttons here were so colored, I went with the same color as the jumper itself, or the sweater, sorry, I keep saying jumper. And yeah, so you just thread the needle. I put a bit of wax at the front. I don't know if you've seen my other quick sewing trick, but essentially if you use beeswax, that can make it easier. That can make it easier for you to sew. And so yeah, you don't need that much because I only have one more button left. And I also don't recommend that you take too long of a thread. It actually makes it harder to sew because the thread starts kind of getting knots and things like that, so it makes it a bit challenging. So just take a little piece. This is actually more than enough for one button, way too much actually. And how I like to make my knot is you put the two sides of the thread together in the same length. I wrap my finger around my index finger, I think it's called. You wrap the thread around it, and then you sort of like twist. Can you see what I'm doing? You kind of twist. You pull with the index one down, and you push the thumb up so that it creates a friction, and they kind of roll into each other. And as you're pulling it, you're gonna have a little knot. Now this one got a bit chunky there, but it's fine, it will do. If it's too small, and let's say so you go through it and the thread goes through because the knot is not strong enough, that can happen with knit fabric. You might need to go and repeat that one more time and try to get the knot on the same spot so that it's essentially 2 knots on top of each other. Alright, so then to put the button, this button, it looks as if it has no holes, but actually it does, and you can go through the fabric. This here is just fabric. So what I recommend you do, so that the knot is not visible on either side, you first go through the fabric without the button. And so I want to place it somewhere like here. So I would go like this without the button, go one time through, and as I go up, this is when I place the button in it. And so what's going to happen is that this knot is going to be hidden behind the button. So there we go. And now the second threading now, or like when I put the needle now, it's gonna fixate the position. So I think I want it to be like this. So make sure you pull the thread and then you try to find the hole. So it's there, and then you just go through. And essentially from here, you just continue threading. This button has only 2 holes, so it's really a repeated motion. You just go in one hole and come out in the other way through. Another reason why I also like to go with the same color is because it ties all of these together. It sort of combines the whole thing, even though they're all different colors. Alright, once you've gone through a few times, like this button, it doesn't have to be super strong in the fabric because it won't hold anything. It's just embellishment. So that's the beauty of it. You just have to go through a few times, then it's kind of completed. Alright, now that we are kind of happy with the amount of loops that we put around the button, now we're just going to grab a little bit of fabric, just in the same, so the button is here, so just under the button so that we don't see anything on the front. We've created a loop while doing that, so don't put it completely through. So here's one loop. Now we're going to pull the needle through that loop. Okay, and as we do so, we're creating here a second loop where my finger is. And what we want to do is pull it in a way that this first loop shortens, and then we pull the needle through the second loop. That's how I make my knots. And then you just pull it, and then you will see it's done. There is a knot and very close to the fabric, which is what you want. You don't want to have the knot very far away. Let me show you one more time so that it's clear. I typically make two knots, and that is often sufficient. So we grab a bit of fabric, there's a loop, we pull the needle through, and through the second loop over here on the right here, we pull the needle through. I hope it's clear. Alright, and when you're happy, just cut it. Don't cut it too close, so that we want to cut it in a way that there's a little bit of thread behind the knot so that it doesn't come off, but as close as possible. So that should be enough there. And that's it. Ta-da! Now you have a more interesting looking jumper or sweater that you can wear. And if you don't like it, you take it off, or if you want different colors, you put different buttons. What's really handy as well about collecting these buttons is this has cost me no money. Alright, see you soon. Until next time, bye bye.